What's up, mindful message number 2. But before I get into that, by the way, it's going to be how can we live more green realistically in our lives? How can we better our carbon footprint on a day-to-day? Just being an average Jill or Jack, if you will. Anyway, I keep coming home to flowers outside my window, and I just keep throwing them away. And then every day I come back, and there's more. And I don't get it, because nobody's talking to me. It freaks me out. I mean, they're not like, well, over the weekend there was roses and stuff, but now they're like wildflowers, like stuff people picked. And I think it's just probably somebody being really nice and sweet. Well, I'm just a paranoid motherfucker. I'm like, who's leaving me flowers? Why? I don't even want to take them inside. I watch too much true crime. If you acknowledge people's shit, it's only going to encourage them to be more freaky. So I'm like having all these scenarios in my brain. I'm such a weirdo. At least I'm an honest one. So if you are leaving me flowers out there, I'm sorry. It's very nice. But tell me who you are so I'm not creeped by it, okay? Great. Anyway, how can we live more green? First of all, I need to do this too. I'm horrible at holding on to shit. But every year when the season changes, people switch out their closets. And instead of storing them, granted, if it's really pieces that you love and you will use it again, I do see the money saving and the lack of waste if you do save it. The problem is we're saving things that we probably only wore once, or we think we might wear, or it doesn't quite fit us right, but maybe we'll lose a little weight next year, whatever. We just save too much stuff. So instead of saving that, if you just budgeted yourself to every season, I shop at the thrift store most of the time, but there are certain things that I will not buy in a thrift store, or sometimes you go and you don't find what you need. I do shop online, like Shein, Shein. It has really fair and honest prices. They have everything you could think of. Amazon has some good deals for bras and underwear. Like, I shop around on the internet when I'm not shopping at the thrift store. What I get at the thrift store is usually what I wear to work, or like if I have a really fancy event coming up and I really only gonna wear the dress once, I'll go there. You know what I mean? And whenever I don't need stuff or I don't want it, I always donate it back. So if we just donated what we're not using instead of storing them, we just lived season to season and we got rid of our closet and bought more even with our budget. But if you shop at places like a thrift store, you are improving your carbon footprint because you are using materials that are still good instead of going, I mean, like I said, I still do go to the manufacturer and buy stuff fresh, but when you shop on places like Shein, Shein, then it's, you know, it's not a big fancy quality of fabric. It's going to do the job, but is it going to last forever? No. So a lot of these things are also made with recycled stuff. You can find websites with clothing made from recycled goods. That would be a good way to do it. But I think just being more conscious of how much money you're spending on clothing and what is in that clothing that could be dangerous to the environment. You as a person, you know, you can't change the whole world, but you can decide what you buy and what you support, whether it be faux fur or real fur. No judgment here either way. It's like you have a decision to shop consciously and look for those things that are better for the environment. So just be mindful of your clothing and shoe shopping. Another good way to save money, this used to be a big profession. If you ever heard of a cobbler, basically they take the old worn out heel of your shoe and they give you a whole new shoe on the inside where it matters. So if you still have a really nice pair of shoes but you wore out the inside, you love them, instead of going and investing in another pair of shoes, cobblers are kind of a dying business. You might have a hard time finding one, but I've taken a lot of my shoes that I love, like my boots, I've taken them to cobblers, and they're not really that expensive, and I get to keep my shoes longer. It is using more materials, but it's at a lower cost. It's a less dent to the environment because you are still using something and you're not just letting it sit in a landfill or whatever. Alright, so unplug everything. I mean everything when you're not using it. I mean, I know it's annoying to reset your clocks all the time. You can get battery operated clocks. You are going to see a big difference in your bill. I got my bill down to $46 once by literally having nothing plugged in. No lamps, no nothing while I'm gone. And only plugging in what I need when I need it. And as soon as I'm done with it, I cut the power to it. You can save a lot of money that way. Like, you don't think about it, but just leaving your phone charger in the wall, that's using energy. Leaving your TV plugged in, even when it's on, there's always like a flow of energy. And you can cut that down to a big drastic, another way, like when you're a kid, my mom always said, turn the lights off when you're not in the room. I still do that. I have a light where I need it, and that's it. I use candles. That's another way. You can make your own candles. You can make your own cleaning products, your own soaps. They're better for the environment. They're cheaper for you. And you can even grow half of the ingredients in your backyard. Getting into having a garden. Can you supply yourself all year realistically on that garden? Probably not. But for at least 1 or 2 seasons, you are cutting costs at the grocery store. And believe it or not, you are benefiting the soil when you do grow things because you're treating it, you're tending it, and it becomes more nourished as you grow things. But it can also be depleted as well if you don't take care and flip your soil over and enrich it every year or every season. Cut your shower times. My dad used to do this to us. We don't realize how much water we actually do waste when we limit our showers and we limit how long we're running the water. It allows us to get our stuff done faster, which is better for our wallet and the environment. When you do your laundry, try to have as minimal waste as clothing, like instead of having new pajamas every night, wear the same pajamas for a couple of nights. Like, you're not wearing them out of the house, you're only wearing them to bed, so how dirty can they really be? Like, being mindful of that and cutting your laundry load. Also, hanging your laundry to dry saves a ton of money and a ton of energy. Hand washing your clothes, like your delicates and your whites, that's a whole separate load that you do on its own. So if you took that load of delicates and whites and you washed it by your hands and you hung it out to dry, you are saving so much energy for yourself, and it's better for the environment. Instead of using reusable cups or bags, get a sandwich container for your kids, and every day clean it out, put your sandwich in it so you're not buying baggies all the time. You can get different Tupperware containers for their snacks. I don't really support buying extra Tupperware than you need, because it just sits in your drawer and eventually goes in the landfill. But in the long scheme of, you have summer camp all summer, your kids go to school all summer, it's worth going to the Dollar Tree, spending $2 for a sandwich container instead of buying plastic baggies every week. Instead of using plastic cups, like reusable plastic cups, or plastic water bottles, reusable bottles. Limit electronics times as well. Fishing or hunting for your own meat, you can't get all of your meat that way, but it can cut costs during the season, and it does help with the deer population as well. You can make your own clothing or dye your clothing to keep it longer. Open windows for light during the day. Try not to use your lights during the daytime. If you can use sunlight, that would benefit you and the environment. But, these are just little things, but it does add up over time, and I hope this is helpful. And always be considerate of how you can be better for yourself, your money, and the environment.